Morning, people. Welcome back. It's a big week. It's going to be a big week. And I just kind of want to skip across the lily pads. I don't want to do a big expansive thing. So I'm going to try and keep this as brief and to the point as I can. So astrologically, it's a big week. There's a lot of energy. We're really coming into the rebirth now. Remember the divergence, and so we're now kind of been making choices of what we want to take forward, and narratives and behaviors and reactions rather than responses that we want to leave behind, where we want to grow, yada yada. We've been making all those choices, and we're coming into birth. And Friday is going to be a full moon eclipse. It's a partial eclipse, but it's a full moon in Sagittarius, in the very expansive, sits under the galactic center, Sagittarius. And what I want to speak about specifically is the recent change of the nodal points. The nodal points are the intersection of the ecliptic. Do some research, it's a mathematical thing. And so the nodal points have changed to Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay, so the North Node is now in Gemini, North Node, Destiny, Future, where we're going. Has moved into Gemini, very quick-minded, very quick to respond, quick to react. Squirrel, easily distracted, very easily distracted. So the Gemini mind is all over the place. In this time where what's going to really hold us is focus, stillness. Okay, focus and stillness are going to be the two big takeaways, I think, for today. So yeah, Gemini is North Point, but on the bright side, what Gemini brings is, what is this? It is that beautiful, what is this? So Gemini can really do beginner's mind. Remember I said a while ago, bring beginner's mind to this huge birth that's going on the planet. Beginner's mind is really going to help us to not react in the old way, and I caught myself doing it last weekend, not the one that's just gone, where a friend of mine, and really extremely good friend, I trust her with my life, sent me a link, and I looked at the link and went into trigger, and that was the truth. I looked at the link and went into trigger, and it didn't help because I was in my Gemini mind. We all have all 13 signs. We all have them. We are an astrological wheel. But I was in my Gemini mind, and I was busy and between clients and trying to do extra things, lots of things. And so I responded in quite a pious, arrogant way. And she challenged me, as she does, beautifully. And I just thought, you haven't brought beginner's mind to this. You haven't asked, what question is she asking me? You've responded because what she's brought you is actually a trigger to check where you are. So it's a great litmus check. And so the other takeaway I'd like to share with you is lighten up. That's what I told myself. Lighten up, give it time. So I got through my very, very busy day. Last week was insanely busy. And I went back to it. Sorry, done it again. Had my breakfast, client day. I went back to it, and I just kind of, and I love that posture because it feels, when I just tip my head and look that way, I can see around corners for a start, and I can see the world in a slightly different way. And I looked at it again, and I saw another question I hadn't asked, and I did loads of research into this thing that she was asking me, and came up with a new truth that had been hidden. And in the researching of it, I healed the trigger that was in me. Because I gave it play space. I gave it a space to explore, what is this? What could this be in a new way? I brought beginner's mind. And this is what I keep saying about, we can rebirth the old and call it the new, con ourselves into believing it's the new. But what we've actually done is just behaved in exactly the same way and expected a different outcome. So that's the rebirth of insanity. Or we can not take ourselves so seriously in our triggering, because when we get triggered, we come as hard down into the 3D as we possibly can. There's no room for multidimensional expansion. There's no room to wander worlds that you have no navigational map for, you know, and to be able to do that, we are collectively dissolving what has held us on this fixed map. So by questioning it and bringing that childlike, what is this? Oh, what is this? And lightening up, because I know I can get really serious with it. I can get really serious. And just bringing curiosity to it, and also using the breath. You know, the breath is really going to help you just to drop into that pause and understand something else. Engage all of those. In fact, the first card out today that wants to support you is the third eye. So you remember me talking about 2020, that divine mother energy, but with the force supporting her. So we're ready to build it. We're building the foundation of this kind of third eye, heart-centered way of being, where we respond to each other from the heart space. And this is card number 6, which is it's like mother, kind of big-breasted, big-thighed, big-bellied, pregnant mother. 6 is 2 3s, so you've got 2 blueprints there. Which are you going to choose? So you need discernment to work through the 6. See what the card is doing. So the card's like, which way do I go? I could take the easy path. Go for the quick hit. Or I can bring beginner's mind and be really curious about, what is this? Like a mother plays with her child. What is it doing? What are they doing? They're building universes is what they're doing. So third eye chakra, the frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition. And that's all we've got to play with. Why? Because the old structures are falling right under our nose. So we can't keep grasping. We will, because it's a habit and we're breaking the habit. Those of us who want to become conscious and fully aware and fully awake are noticing when we automatically reach for the old habit, which is to wait to be told what to do, follow orders, just linear. No, it's beautiful. I mean, look at that flower of life. There's not a straight line in there. There is if you start putting manifesting triangles in there, but there's not a straight line in there. That's the seed. It's the seed. So intuition, inner knowing, because there is no question you can conceive of that you don't already have the answer for. We just tell ourselves we don't know because we've been bowing to a bigger power for so long. Imagination and psychic power. Intuition, inner knowing, imagination, and psychic power. Imagination. Imagination. It's an amazingly powerful energy. Energy. And with the imagination, you remember I don't know if any of you saw any of my videos from last year, but I dared you to dream big because I knew something big was coming. I couldn't have conceived of this. That's my point. I couldn't have conceived of this. Brilliant. So dream big and then dream bigger. And then step into, what happens if I get my dream? Do I deserve that? Do I deserve that? So we've got Gemini getting really curious about where we're moving to. And what that's going to kick up is the rubble of Sagittarius. Sagittarius will hold a big field of, can I just show you what's holding you back from bringing beginner's mind? And it's going to be a fear-based reaction. It's going to be a reaction of how this has gone wrong in the past. It's going to be a reaction of expectation, attachment, and we're letting all of that go. So feel into, as I'm talking into this piece, feel into your body and what's responding, because body intelligence is coming from a different, it's a different intelligence. It knows. That's the knowing, the inner knowing. It's stored in every cell. I believe our cells are like 98% empty, 99% empty. What's the rest? Is that just consciousness? Is that a knowing? Is that where our creative imagination is stored? Maybe we manifested this world, didn't we? So we're definitely manifesting. Yeah, okay. So this Friday is, I mentioned the eclipse, and this Friday creates a, what is it, the 5th of June, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I believe, check out Tanya Gabrielle if you want to study astronumerology or you're curious, but it's a 15, 15, 15 energy frequency on Friday. 15 is it's the alchemist. 5 is the number of change. And 1 is the energy of fire. And 1 is leadership, authority, spiritual authority, new beginnings, and the instigator. So if you bring the fire of the 1 into the 5, you're going to create change. So Friday will be, I think this week actually, a really powerful day to manifest. And please don't make that look like a 3-tier beautiful cake, because it won't feel like that. To manifest, we have to let go of the old, and that's going to feel some kind of way. It might feel jarring. You might feel pissed off about that. You might want to hold on to what your wisdom is suggesting you let go of. That might include people. Okay, so 3 other cards came out that wanted to support this part. Oh, gorgeous. They're showing me a lovely image of the number 18. And with a question, Chrissy, what would happen? So it's like, remember when you described the energy of the 8, the evolution, it's Gemini going up, going, what is this? Over there, squirrel, I want to look at this. I want to play with everything. And the involution, to come back in and to dig up the rubble. And then it's using that tempering energy to even the lumps out. And they're showing what would happen if you brought that fire of light into the 8. So it's bringing the light down right into the belly, into the pelvic bowl, to kick up all the rubble of what's holding me back right now, what might be holding me back right now, and to go back up. Cosmic flower is creation. Frequency of the cosmic flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. Sorry. Couldn't make it up. The reward, celebrate your magnificence. That's the kind of, feels like the origin point of you. It's card number 3 as well. It's blueprint, divine blueprint. Who you came here to be, you know, it's you in your purest expression, purest expression. So what's that going to activate, challenge, invite to change? Well, it's going to affect the root. So we're back into the root. My connection to the earth, the programs that ground me here, the beliefs and the values that ground me here, my very essence of survival. What program am I coming from in my survival? How about thrival? How about thrive? I don't want to survive. I'm done surviving. I'm into thriving now. I'm into a beautiful energy that's supporting me to thrive and to play. Frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion. I know too many people in the whole history of me as a practitioner who have wanted more than anything to be put back in touch with their passion. If we've got hold of our passion, woof, wow. Supports our sense of security. Security. How do you feel secure? What's your go-to when you want to feel secure? On the physical plane, both in our body as well as in the physical world. So root chakra is what roots me. It's another 5. It's going to be a week. There's going to be some jiggity jaggedy energy. There's going to be massive opportunities to manifest. I used the word repurpose yesterday and moved someone into their emotions with it. So repurpose some old beliefs that we've got ourselves all entangled with. We can repurpose them. Like last week, I wanted to experiment. So here we go again, beginner's mind. I've never played with eclipse energy anything more than a week away. And last week, I knew that there was an eclipse coming up in Sag. And one of my leading energies is Sag. And I just wanted to play with it. And I'd no sooner decided I wanted to play with it than it showed me a narrative that was so in my blind spot. A blind spot is, I can't see it. What blind spot? Everybody can see it. And in my blind spot was, I've mentioned this before, you're not meditating enough, you're not tuning in enough, you're not journaling enough. It's that. Okay. And suddenly, and it was a suddenly, I saw it. So I tuned into the energy of the eclipse and I spoke straight into the eclipse and I said, I either want to sever connection with this is the inner dictator. So that's going to come up this week. I'm giving you a heads up, peeps. Inner dictator is going to come up because we're moving away from it. So I said, I either want to sever connection with it or I want to repurpose it, sit it at my round table where I have a lot of aspects of me, all working as a team to create a more holistic expression of me. Because dictator energy, when it comes through a more aligned energy, can be a good CEO, can't it? Could be a good CEO. And then I gave it away. And the messages started arriving and it's like, this is totally in the hands of the part of me that is the eclipse. I'll let you pause into that one because it's in you too. Okay. Okay, this is a lovely kind of wrap up for this week. We've got the energy of the 23, another 5, change. It's 2 3s and it's two. What I was saying about 2 3. So the 2 is the energy of balance and discernment. What am I going to do with this? Is there room to do something new with this? Is there room to respond in a new way to this, in a more balanced, from a more balanced place? How can I do that? Well, I know what. I'm going to move into breath because I don't normally do that. We've got Gemini kicking around. So this week, all I want to do is respond like that. I want to respond like that and respond like that. But how about I don't do that? And how about I take 3 long, passionate breaths? right into the core of me. Got as low down in the belly as I can get. Stay there. Light a fire there. Dig a fire pit. Light a fire. Get your rattle out, get your drum out, whatever turns you on. And pause and understand something different before you move on that 5 energy of change. So the 23 is kind of bringing discernment to the new blueprint, I guess, or a blueprint that you want to birth. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects. Okay, so there's going to be a lot getting kicked up. Eclipses, that has no purpose. It's gone. It's gone. That's what eclipse energy does. It's not a full eclipse. It's just going to be enlarged a bit with Sag, because Sag ruled by Jupiter, which is the biggest bad boy out there. Harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. Different origin. Where did that belief come from? Is that nature or nurture? Is that programming? Or did you choose that thought or that behavior? There's a good discernment. That's a good 2 energy. Did I choose this? Another question that's coming up an awful lot in my professional work is, what was your motivation for doing that? What was your motivation for being that thing for that person? Because where we become, this is a really old pattern of codependency, is where we be that thing for the other person to make them happy. You can't make anybody happy, sweethearts. You can't make anybody happy. You can't. You can feed them grapes for a few minutes, but that makes them dependent upon you, and they can feed you grapes. So if you hear yourself saying words or thinking things like, you don't make me happy, have a look at that, because it's with you. What are you looking? What's your expectation in that? What's your assumption in that? What's your attachment to that? What bit of work can you take into your office and do from the quiet of your own desk? You know, because it all sits with you, it all sits with us. So dynamic energy helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements. Many different elements. How do I celebrate your difference? So here we have the end of divisive thinking, behaving. Bigger, better, stronger, more successful. That's all going. Ambitious. It's that energy, isn't it? I look up to you. Oh, okay, that's your choice. I respect that. But how can we celebrate difference? How can we sit with familiar and the completely new? Because the subconscious wants to map straight onto the completely new, but the subconscious won't have a blueprint for this. And that might make us feel a bit, don't know what this is. Move to child. Move to child. If it helps you to have a paddy, allow the body to paddy. One of the funniest things I ever did. I allowed myself to have a tantrum in the kitchen. It took me about 5 seconds to move into hysterical laughter. It was beautiful, beautiful movement. Ease, grace, and joy. Ease, grace, and joy. Right, have I touched on everything? Gemini, North Node, future destiny. Squirrel! Watch out for distraction. Also, if you feel the sun shining on you, like last week, I stood under a waterfall of blessings. I couldn't believe the abundance that toppled down on me. It was fabulous. And I was really super heart, third eye and throat, super conscious of opening and opening and receiving and receiving. This is the dare to dream. What's going to happen when it lands? You've got to open. You've got to know that you're worthy. Know that you're worthy. And that's creating this beautiful plume of acknowledging this fire, actually. This fire coming straight through me. It's beautiful. This is the fire of initiation, okay? And we can dance with this fire, especially this week. Oh, boiling. This is alchemy. You're witnessing it live. This is alchemy. So 15, 15, 15 on Friday. But it's cooking now. Here I am. I'm bringing it through. 15 is the alchemist. It's the number of the alchemist. So using fire energy to burn through the rubble and to lift the spirit. Very powerful energy. I've worked with it for years. I love it. Gemini, North Node, future destiny. Yeah, watch out for distractions. Okay. So if you find that you've slipped through into this dimensional shift where I feel so joyful, I feel so joyful, and it's that energy, I feel so joyful. Squirrel! The ego might come in and go, I can't map to this. I can't map to this. This feels too much like freedom, and there's never been freedom on this planet. So watch out for what comes into your field the moment you hit that absolute peace. Use that 2 energy. What am I going to do with this? Am I going to disappoint this person? By moving back into that old codependent energy. Am I going to rise? Am I going to alchemize what's coming in? Got choices, loads of choices. Which crayons are you going to use? Because the map is blank. So watch out for distractions. And I think one of the things that would help Geminis the most, I know a lot of Geminis and they're fabulous energies, they're so creative, is focus, which I know they struggle with, and avoiding the pause. They tend to avoid the pause. So pausing and focusing, I might say, would be the tempering energy between Sag holding the, I guess the karma, the past, and Gem, who's a gem, who's holding that North Destiny point. I would say the tempering energy might be pause, focus. That's going to be the discernment between, am I reacting from the past? Am I birthing the new? So what they're showing me now is like a cross. It's like the cross of transformation. I'm just going to stay in the mystery with that. It's not enough information to bring through just yet. So I noticed in that moment, my subconscious wanted to map something old onto that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay with, I don't know. I don't know for now. So Sag South Node, past breaking up the rubble and responding in the same way, or breaking up the rubble and going, what is this? Lighten up. Lighten up. Just lighten up. In whatever way you can do that. To begin to do things differently. And beginner's mind, can't stress that enough. Beginner's mind, because we don't have the plan yet. We're building it, we're making it, and we're going to mess it up. Okay, when you build something new, you tend to get one of the angles wrong, or when you use the wrong joints or whatever. But yeah, so triggers. Okay, I'm speeding up now because I need to get a shift on. Triggers. If we respond to triggers, we're going to get triggered this week. I'm already seeing it. And so a trigger is impossible to do to another if it doesn't already exist, if that vibration doesn't already exist in them. Okay, so it's impossible to trigger me if that vibration isn't already within me somewhere, if I haven't already had an experience same or similar to that, and that's coming to just pull that little heart string. Time to look at this. Okay, Gemini mind, I might lash out at that. I might lash out. I might give a really quick response that protects me, makes me look clever and bright, and makes you a loser. That's duality. Bigger than, smaller than, better than, worse than. That's duality. We move out of that. Polarity. I can be it all. Just be it all. Okay. So, what this speaks to for me, this is 35. 35. Look at these 3s and 5s coming through. That's interesting. 3s and 5s coming through. So we're changing the old blueprints. That's the essence of what we're doing is we're changing the old blueprints. So if we call X the trigger, and if some of us get triggered this week, it is a gift. It is a gift, and the person that gave it to you is in divine timing to help bring you through this week, Eclipse week. Wow. That's a gift. Okay. Might not feel like it. Might not feel like it, but it's a gift because it's going to shine that light straight into the rubble. It's going to bring that light of truth straight into where that stick point is in you that makes you something. Okay. See the love in disguise. See the love in disguise. Love doesn't always come through as a Mills and Boon novel with flowers and chocolates. Love comes through as the sword of fire, and it can burn and it can cut and wound. But all it's doing is releasing something that no longer serves us. Look at that light. Wow. I've just seen sometimes. Okay. Pause. Sometimes we only see it in the reflection. Oh, damn. So as I look at this card in the reflection of the screen, I see the light going all the way down, look, through the amethysts and the blues of the third eye and the crown chakra and the throat, down into the solar plexus, into the reds at the bottom, the base and the sacral, bringing the light straight down into the rubble. Okay, take ownership. It's your journey. It's your journey. Honor it. Play with it. It's amazing. And has the potential for a quantum leap. Seven in itself is a number of alchemy. It's the mystery number. It's bringing the light into the structure and fusing it at the heart. Heart. Vitruvian map, 7. Draw a 7 across that. And the line will cross at the heart, and the heart can fuse light of realization and insight and intuition and something new that we don't have a map for. It's the mystery. Stay with the mystery. Into the physical, fused at the heart. That's new coding right there. Quantum leap. Prepare for a makeover. I literally watched one of my teachers say, we are learning, we are discarding the old clothes, we're clearing out our wardrobes and putting on finer robes, finer fabrics, as we blossom, prepare for a makeover. Here's a question, because I still can't answer this question in myself. If you could dress however you wanted to dress, just you, your world, it's your world, what would that look like? Notice where your mind goes now. Notice if your mind comes in and goes, I I couldn't walk into the workplace dressed. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you if you could dress any way that fully expressed who you are right now, what would that look like? Can you picture that? And using your creativity and imagination, can you step into that and feel what that might feel like? Yeah, I'm starting to get images now. I'm playing. And the reward to close today's video, the reward, look at the threes. Sorry to screech. Look at the threes. It's birth this week. The rewards celebrate your magnificence. This is in you. Follow the signs. This is in you. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Right. We're going to leave. We got one guidance card from Simple Woman. Yeah, it's amazing. Will, you want to come out? Well, if I was super, super brave, and I'm getting there, I might have my hair like that. Try that. That little movement is a game changer. The personal energy field. So I'm looking up, my eyes are looking up, but all my body is looking down. It feels completely different. Play with it. Just play with different things. Play with things. No way. Do you see she's birthing here? New life through the third eye, through the insight and the intuition. And she's working with the energy of nature, as below, so above. So she's working with the whole system. Because we don't just create down here what we do down here. Because there is no division. Separation is an illusion. Cocooning. That's why I've been quiet for a few days. I don't want to talk into me really, but I've been cocooning because I've been going through a huge change just since that last channeled message. And I was the only person I could be with, really. Creative cocooning is a freedom I give myself. But again, do I deserve that? Do I deserve that? Am I worthy of creative cocooning where the phone goes off and the world can fall off its axis? I'm creative cocooning, period. I create a safe nest for peace, healing and calm. I created a safe nest. Do you remember the greenhouse story? I got my answer. It's insane. That greenhouse idea came to me on the words Wendy House. And that's the answer. It was the Wendy House that made my inner child go, me, I want. So I went out and I bought a greenhouse, and then I turned it into a greenhouse, and I gave it purpose and importance by planting lots of plants, giving myself lots of work to do. No, the Wendy house wanted me to play. So I now have a Wendy house in the garden, which is decorated, which has incense and books, which has space for me to take food in there, and it's completely private. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Creative cocooning. It's playtime. It's playtime. So my darlings, I'm going and stay in the center this week. Whatever pulls you, come back to center. Honor yourself with a pause. It's yours. This is yours. You're birthing this. And in that, I honor you and I send you so much love this week. Let's send each other love for all we're going through. This is the most amazing time. Oh gosh, can't believe I got here. I love you guys. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.